All right, let me start off by saying that if I'm wrong about what I'm about to say, please correct me in the comment section. Are we not in the middle of a healthcare battle regarding the ACA subsidies and the Republican plan to subsidize people's HSA accounts? Are we not in the middle of a big medical or healthcare battle over two plans that are essentially the same plan? Is it just me, or is the Republican plan just the Democrat plan with more steps? It is. It's exactly is. And I'm asking Republican voters, why are you voting Republican? What's the point? What are you getting out of voting for Republicans? You're getting a federal government that's taking a stake in private companies? That's not great. I can't imagine how much screaming and gnashing of teeth there would be if a President Harris, for example, decided that the federal government was going to take ownership stakes in major U.S. corporations. The amount of socialist head explosions across the country would be innumerable. You wouldn't be able to keep track of it. I don't understand Republicans. I remember when the Republicans were in the minority and they consistently passed resolution after resolution to repeal the Affordable Care Act. And now they're just figuring out, they're arguing over what the best way to subsidize it is. That's what's going on. That is what your Republican Party is doing for you. And I'm asking you why you are voting for them. And if I'm wrong, let me know. Maybe I don't understand the Republican plan as well as I should. But I can tell you this. I can tell you this for sure. And that is that nobody is talking about the core issue of why healthcare itself is so expensive. Nobody's addressing that issue. Nobody's talking about why it's so expensive to walk into a clinic, a hospital, and just get treatment. Nobody's addressing that issue. And the reason they're not addressing that issue is because it's actually relatively simplistic, but it involves shrinking the government massively reducing the government's role in the healthcare marketplace, not health insurance marketplace, but that too, but massively reducing the government's role in healthcare in general, and just in allowing the market to function. And if there's one thing politicians want, if one thing they really need, it's for you to think that they're important. Let me clarify that. Before I go on, please, if you're enjoying this content, if you enjoy this kind of content, please follow or subscribe to the channel. Give me a like, drop a comment, help me out here. But anyway, if you want to understand how we got here, it's because politicians need to feel important and they need to put out the appearance that they are doing something. This is a refrain you hear all the time in the news. They really need to do something about this. Somebody should do something. Why aren't the politicians doing anything? They have to look like they're doing something. What are they going to do? Stand in front of you and tell you the best possible solution to whatever crisis you're demanding that they do something about is for them to not do anything? Like, the best way for this way forward is to let this thing sort itself out, because the market will correct these issues 99% of the time with no government intervention, and it'll do it much faster than it otherwise would if we did get involved. And so while in the short term we may feel a little bit of pain, in the long run we're going to be much better off if we keep our hands off of this problem. Does that get them reelected, or does saying I'm going to solve this problem for you get them reelected? So we demand as voters that they appear to be doing something, and therefore they have to appear to be doing something. And everything that they do tends to make things worse. That's why you can't afford health care. That's why you're having trouble buying a house. That's why college is so darned expensive now. Because politicians need to look like they're doing something, because we're demanding it. At the end of the day, the best thing to do is to keep the government out of the way, allow the market to function, and make things affordable. But I digress. The point of this video is, and again, I'm going to ask the question one more time, what is the difference between the Republican and Democrat healthcare plan? I think they're the same plan. I think the Republican plan is the Democrat plan with more steps. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. And again, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you next time.